Oh no, that's too high. Sorry.
Wait, where are we even looking?
Like everyone knows about the Philippines now.
What does it mean to be Filipino-British?
British Filipinos, fresh Filipinos.
Oh my God,
yeah.
The Fobs, I wasn't aware that we have to have those two different identities.
3, 2, 1. Action.
I just want to have like open chats that are just like naked.
My name is Jam.
I'm Amir.
I'm Janine.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of What's the Chika?
What's the Chika?
Today we have a fashion icon.
Not yet. It's pending.
Cheese.
Please introduce yourself.
Hey guys, what's up? My name is Jay. That's it.
Tell us a bit about yourself.
What
do you do for those who don't know?
Okay, for those that don't know, so I currently work in the fashion and creative industries, and I do consulting, styling, content, and mixture of things.
Wow.
Cheese.
All around creative, eh?
I guess this day and age, we all have to be, you know?
Yeah.
Hustling.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we start from the very beginning and go back to your roots
Yeah.
and your identity and who you are? So like,
Go.
so where were you born?
So I was actually born in the Philippines, in Baguio City.
Oh, hey. I love Baguio.
Big up Baguio. Yes.
That's from Baguio.
love
Yeah,
that.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Anyway, sorry.
Do you know what I love in Baguio is the strawberry tahat.
I've never had
It's
it.
so good.
I've actually
Oh my
never
God.
had that.
It's so
Really?
good.
But strawberry is like one of the biggest, obviously.
Yeah,
things.
like
Yeah.
there's so many
Yeah.
strawberry farms there, isn't
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
Oh, it's so
yeah.
good.
I know. I don't know why I haven't tried yet.
But yeah, so you were
okay.
born in Baguio. Did you speak Tagalog? When did you come over here?
So yes, I was
Ilocano.
born in the Philippines, and then I moved in the UK around I was like 7 years old. And speaking wise, yes, I actually was speaking Ilocano and Tagalog. Well,
Nice.
yeah, and then, but my household we actually don't speak any of that. We speak English mainly.
Ah.
But obviously most Filipinos anyway speak English, right? Or we all speak English. So, but yeah, so I was still somehow remember our language. So Ilocano, Tagalog, but I don't really speak it at home. But,
Do
yeah,
you
it's
think
good
that
on
was
me.
like from where you moved here, your parents like just wanted you to be able to adapt easier and quickly?
Yeah,
so
I think
you
so.
spoke it at home. Yeah,
Yeah.
that seems like a quite common thing, right?
Yeah.
But even when I was in the Philippines, if I remember, yeah, we were mainly speaking English. It was just be schools or like people like obviously outside of my house that we'd be speaking. I'd be speaking in like Tagalog. Or
Oh, so did you go to
As
an
well.
international school?
No, I don't. I'm trying to remember. I think it wasn't fully international, but like yeah, it was mainly English speaking school, and then Tagalog and Ilocano, which is like family members and like just around. So yeah.
Okay.
Ah, cool. So you've just come back from the Philippines.
Oh,
my
yes,
God,
that
yeah,
remind
I
me.
saw.
Oh, I love it.
Unreal. You went to
So good.
Siargao.
So yes, okay. So this trip, I went to. This is the first time I did like 4 different places. So yeah, so obviously went to visit my hometown with my family in Baguio. Then went to Siargao, but I was there before, so it's my second time going.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if you
I'd
guys,
love
guys
to
have been.
go.
You haven't
No.
been.
I haven't
been.
been.
No, you're lying.
I've
You
not
guys haven't
travelled.
been.
No.
Are
We
you
said on our
crazy?
last
We've just said this.
recording
We haven't travelled
that we haven't
the
travelled.
Philippines.
What? I'm so surprised, especially you three.
I
Like,
know.
what?
I haven't. Siargao's actually out of all of them is one of the most expensive ones to fly to as well.
Yeah, when I was
now,
looking.
now it is. I think before it was like no one really, because the last time I went was like 6 years ago. So this time, yeah, I think I heard people saying like the flights are way more than.
Yeah.
'Cause it's quite far away, but it's still like where Palawan and all
Where
of
is
them
it?
is. It's like in the east
Of-
side of like the Philippines, but in south,
Okay.
like
Oh, near Palawan, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah, near. Well, actually, maybe I don't know. Don't know.
It's in the islands.
It's somewhere there.
We should get a map up and then just circle.
What was Siargao like?
Oh, I love it. It's my second time there. Like,
You
I would
love it?
literally I would work remote there. I would
What's
work
like the
remote there.
vibe of it?
Yeah.
So it's it's more of like a surfer's like spot. But I feel like there's foreigners there for sure, but it's more like foreigners just live there. It's not like
Yeah.
tourists.
Okay.
So I went to
Okay.
Boracay as well on my trip, and
How
it was
was
my
that?
first time going there. and it was nice. It was beautiful, but it's very touristy.
Is it?
Like,
Where did you
people say that all the time.
Which station?
3, no,
Wow, Bonga.
yeah, 3, yeah. So
Apparently.
3 is middle, no?
No, I thought
No.
2's middle.
Oh.
It goes up from 1,
1,
2,
2, 3.
And then there's like, it's not part of the stations, but where the really expensive.
So 1 is the shit one.
It's
one
not
is
really
basically, when you
shit.
start
Where-
from the thing, it's basically apparently
think
yeah
it
from
goes
there.
up in luxury.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But also, all the
Such-
party bits are like, the best bits I think are in station like 2.
2.
Yeah, 2,
Yeah.
3. So I stayed there, stayed at Airbnb. It wasn't like I saw obviously there was like hotels, and I was like actually, but then the place I was staying was beautiful. It was nice. So yeah, did Siargao, Boracay. Oh yeah, and did Cebu. But I was in specifically Moal Boal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's it like there? Because it's a mix in Cebu. Obviously, it's such a big island. It's a big island, but some people just think it's like just a normal place. But what was your experience in Cebu?
So I didn't get to explore Cebu. I stayed in Lapu-Lapu city though.
Oh, okay.
Lapu-Lapu city. But that was just like for one night. But in Moal Boal, I stayed in this was like the worst accommodation we had.
Really?
Said it was like one room. The water wasn't working.
Oh.
The toilet, you couldn't even sit down properly. You have to sit on the side. Like it was like that.
On the
You had the
side?
full
Wait,
experience.
why?
So yeah,
Why
I
could you
know.
only sit on the side?
Because your feet couldn't like here right now.
Oh, okay.
You couldn't.
Oh, because it was
the
so
wall.
small.
Oh yeah, it's so small. The
Oh,
wall is
really?
like cut off here.
Oh,
So you have to go
no.
like. Well,
That's
That
like,
is so
somehow.
funny.
Well, yeah, but and yeah.
sounds
so,
like Philippines.
Yeah, it sounds like. I think I experienced like all the from like obviously the luxury to like to non-luxury. With Cebu, Moal Boal, Siargao, Boracay, and then stayed at Manila, BGC. That's it. So those are the 4
Nice.
places. Well, 4
All
or 5?
different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full
I
experience.
went from
and
the
Baguio
ghetto
as well.
to the.
The booze.
Well, not the finest, because I didn't go to. But in Moal Boal, I'll say that the places there is either you stay in one of those like stuff, or even a hostel, or like there was like prices of accommodations, but they were too expensive, or
Yeah.
hotels. So there was no middle. There was either like you stay at like a not really not really expensive kind of accommodation, or it's like that really
Yeah.
expensive.
Yeah.
So you can't get in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
We
like-
stayed in a hostel when we went there too.
Yeah, so I was
Where?
thinking to stay in a hostel.
Moal Boal.
Oh,
Moal
okay.
Boal.
With James.
I feel like in the Philippines, I would expect the accommodation to be cheaper.
Oh,
But
nowadays
actually
it's not that.
expensive.
Yeah, 'cause, like-
nowadays
Especially
it's not.
Siargao.
Yeah, like when I was looking at like
Yeah.
places, their accommodation is getting
It is.
Pricey.
It's like London, UK. It's even like London
It's going
prices,
up
like
for
£40 a night. Like,
Wow.
and it's not some places. Yeah.
I wish I went when I was younger, when it was
Yeah.
cheaper.
That's why like a lot of travelers also find do find Philippines expensive in comparison to like Thailand, Vietnam.
yeah, because like Bali, the
Is
accommodation
it?
is
Yeah.
great. Like
Philippines
it's so
actually
cheap.
is a
They've
bit
gone
more
up.
expensive.
Wow.
Yeah. You know us.
And then you gotta get
Everyone's like, oh.
yeah, and then you
Let's
gotta get
make some
paid for
money.
everywhere, so it's even more expensive.
How long did you
Yeah.
go for?
So it was like under 30 days, so like 25.
Oh,
Just,
lovely.
25.
Li-
So nearly a
living your
month.
When-
absolute best
What
life.
dates did you go?
So I went in the beginning of April, so it was like the first week of April. But yeah,
oh, God, it
so
must
the
have been
first,
so hot.
the first, yeah, 7
Oh yeah.
7 to 10 days I was in
Oh,
Baguio.
that's the worst.
So hot.
Is it?
April,
Oh, I
March,
like-
April.
I know.
Oh,
No, I
isn't
don't
it,
mind
was it
it.
like
How hot
47?
was it?
So in Baguio, obviously, you know it's
Oh,
not
Baguio,
hot.
yeah.
Baguio
true.
is not hot. Like I was wearing a jacket in the evening. I was like,
Really?
like one, yeah, jacket. It's like, oh, it's like London,
Yeah.
but in the summer. So Baguio was fine. I think, in the beaches is fine. Siargao, like I didn't mind. Like I was fine. The only place, yeah, that was like I've never complained in a hot country before is in Manila.
Yeah,
Oh,
true.
of course.
Like we stayed in BGC, and then even in that place, it was like I think it was like one walk from one end to the street. I was like, I'm tired. This is too hot. Like I'm like really like it was.
Sweating.
Yeah.
and-
So I've never experienced that until then.
What was the temperatures?
I think it was like
remember?
in BGC it's like 30. I mean generally it was like 28.
That's,
like
that's
20
good.
something.
good.
So it wasn't
And
it
then
wasn't
in
too
Manila
bad.
it was like humid too.
Usually
and-
it's like 42 now, isn't it? Like
Oh, not in
March.
yeah, it was more like 30, but then I think every like most of the my time there was around 25, 30.
The beach
plus.
as well, when
nice.
it's windy.
Yeah, but in the beaches, it's different though. It's
Yeah.
hot. So
It's
you're just
the
laying
air is
there.
different.
The air, you can
You're
swim.
just in like beach
Yeah.
wear. It's
Yeah,
just-
in beach wear,
like
in the
it's-
city.
Doesn't really bother you, but in the
do-
city,
Yeah.
Was it just you and your brother?
So
that
me and my
went?
brother and a friend of mine, Alice. Yeah, she came from Australia, but she's from London.
Wow.
So a friend of mine,
Ah.
yeah, she moved there and then she came through as well, and yeah, we experienced full play. That's the first time I did like
oh, that's lovely
full
though.
traveling around.
yeah, and
That
funny
sounds
enough, a
lovely.
whole group of friends were supposed to come like for this trip, but I'm glad they didn't because I think I didn't know like what each places was like as well.
Mhm.
Like obviously I've been to Siargao and I was like, yep, that is. I can't. Yeah, you guys have to go like next
Yeah,
month. Like
oh, definitely
Yeah.
going.
I'd
it's
love
just,
to.
yeah.
What's Siargao like to travel around?
But the thing is, we went when it was Holy Week, so it was
Oh.
busy. Like it was it was too much.
Holy Week is like half term here, isn't it? Like
Easter
everyone's on
basically,
holiday.
yeah. And then couldn't get a ped, like we couldn't get one of those but I rented a car, which is nice. There's this new. I mean, when I went to Baguio, my cousin had this car, Jimny.
Mm.
Oh,
Seen
yeah,
it? It was cool.
Suzuki.
Yeah,
They're so
Suzuki
cute.
Jimnys. I was like, so I got one a bit bigger in Siargao, and it was cool. Yeah, we did the land
Felt
tours.
proper island
Oh,
boy.
yeah.
But it was nice driving. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, because I've been around before, so I know some places. So we just do that. So that was a vibe. That was a good vibe.
Nice. Have you seen Andy Eigenman there?
Who?
Everyone that goes there sees
Have
Andy.
you
Yeah,
seen Andy
and
Eigenman? Do you know her?
Who's that?
She's like this artista
Yeah,
that
Filipino
moved to
celebrity.
Siargao.
Yeah, now she's like
And she-
not really a celebrity.
Yeah.
She just lives.
living
She
it.
grew up in
island
Manila.
life.
Her
like,
parents were
put it
celebs.
on the map, didn't she?
And then she was like, do you know what? I'm going to live a remote life in the islands and marry someone from the islands. And now, yeah, she's just.
And that's what she's doing. I mean,
She
in that
married like a
place.
surfer.
yeah. And she's introducing that to
Yeah.
Filipinos in Philippines. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Love
Instead of
that.
trying to chase the city life.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
everyone loves her.
I think when you go there, you'll feel that. You're like, actually, shall I like stay here?
Everyone's remoting there as well,
Yeah.
like working in Siargao.
There's this bridge that is nicknamed a fan bridge.
Oh, I've seen that.
Have you seen it?
Why? Because like
Because
loads
it's
of
where
I
like
want to live
all-
there.
everyone
Yeah.
goes there at sunset, but there's loads of foreigners there.
Foreigners, yeah.
So all the girls go there looking
The
for
girls
like,
and the baklas go there because it's like good looking
Oh.
afam
Oh,
in the
yeah.
village. Yeah. They'll find the love of their life in the afam there.
I love story.
I'm just gonna go back to your childhood and where you kind of grew up. What did you go to uni and stuff? Or
Yeah,
college?
yeah. I went
What
to
did you
uni.
study?
So I went to East London for uni, UEL. So I studied journalism and photography.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably, I don't know if you guys expected that, but yeah, journalism, photography. Yeah, finished it a few years, and then kind of went. After that, though, I didn't like continue. That I had creative. Basically, my aim was like being in that working the creative scene, but it was so different then to now as well, like the creative scenes, the fashion scene, that scene. But I think after uni, I was like, oh, I spent all my uni money. I need to like get a job ASAP. So I just went back into retail, and then did some like normal jobs.
Where did you work retail wise?
So I worked at Reese.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So like, and then after that, where did I go? But after that, I worked in NHS actually. Yeah.
Well, after
Oh.
retail, you
Yeah.
were NHS.
Yeah.
Wow. What
So
did you
work-
do? At
So I
the
did admin and reception work, but I did that for like 3 years in a GP surgery.
Really? That's a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
How did you find it?
Woo, that was different. But I feel like it built a backbone because of the type of people. Obviously, when you work with patients and like, so I went from retail working for customers and then to like patients that are like, they're not customers. That's like, they're not. Yeah, that's like their health, and everyone's a bit more like,
Right.
you know,
serious.
like yeah, even though
Oh,
obviously
wow.
I'm at the front desk, like sometimes it's like it's not me. So did that, and then I worked in ASOS after that.
Oh.
I see that.
Oh,
Yes, I remember because
that.
that's in Watford, right? Obviously, I worked in
Yeah.
What
Watford.
did you do at ASOS?
So I worked in customer service. Yeah.
And that's like head office customer service.
Yeah, head office.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where's their head office?
In Leavesden, Watford.
Yeah, like loads of
Leavesden.
people. I know like loads of people in
That
Watford
name.
That's where
work.
what thingy is as
Isn't
well.
that a
Warner
friend?
Brothers.
Yeah.
Another
Yeah,
friend.
one of us. Yeah.
Right, that work there.
Like quite a few. I
Oh,
know. I
okay.
know quite a few people that
Yeah, I'm
work
sure you
there.
see like
Yeah.
loads of so many people.
Loads of people in Watford worked at ASOS.
Yeah.
Worked at ASOS because it's there.
It's like
Yeah.
next
Is it?
door.
Would you say like a digital version of working in retail if you do like what you done at ASOS?
No,
Is it?
Definitely
So what's
not.
like the difference? I guess if you worked
it's very like
ASOS customer service.
obviously it's very like office based type of work. You're like literally communicating on like by emails, by like over the computer. There's no phone calls type of thing, which is good, I think. But yeah, it was very much different because there's no interaction like obviously
Oh,
in
okay.
person is very much like we don't even get we don't even have any
There's
of
no
that.
like customer
Wow.
service
Yeah.
over the like speaking.
No, it's just like online chat, emails, and then like, yeah, that's it really. But yeah, I mean, ASOS was, I heard it was way, or like back years before even I was working there, was a good place to work. I
Yeah,
mean,
if you want to get into fashion, I mean, because it's
yeah,
like
It's
such a
there.
big company.
Yeah.
I
It
feel like
flows in
it's
the door.
still, I guess depending on where, but I mean, what you trying to do. But yeah, it's still a good place to work, I'd say, culture-wise. Even now, obviously, I know people from the ASOS team. I know so many, but it's weird because now I know, you know, people that work in ASOS differently than when I was obviously working in the company. So
Now you're a model.
well, not exactly.
Did you always want to, like, when did you get into fashion and how did you get into fashion?
So I think from a young age, I've just always been into like, it's more like style, I would say, because I
Okay.
think fashion is, fashion now I've come to understand is a different like, it's a different understanding. I would say fashion is also like the industry, rather than like, oh, if you're just into like clothes, style, or want to look dress and look good. So I feel like I have a different perception now when I think of the word fashion.
Okay.
But yeah, I've always been in like from a young age, and then like, what else? I think obviously I started like my creative work is started from as a photographer.
Yeah.
Because you done it at uni.
Yeah, then at school, uni, and then like I think that's I just have that creative eye, but I actually wasn't passionate about photography though. Like I was at a point, but then I realized it's more like that ignited just my creative eye.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, but photography, I just saw it as business. I would honestly.
Do you
yeah.
still find it as business for you now?
Yeah.
It's more the technical side of the creativity that you have.
Yeah, like I think one thing I would say I'm more passionate about, even if let's say it's not, it's like styling, and just like, well, what I do is also like I do image strategy, or consulting, like creative consulting. So like, that's what I'm like excited, more passionate about, that I figured out later, and obviously as years went by and stuff.
Could you explain what that is?
Oh, which one? I
Like
never saw,
creative consultancy.
So this is the thing. Like, I think I started as a photographer, and obviously, you guys even like I don't know what points obviously you've known me since like I was young, and you've known me since I think I was like, early 20s,
Yeah.
or 20s, and then obviously me.
We
I
just
think
see each
just
other.
a few years, with all the friend circles. I think, and I'm trying to remember at what point what I was doing what, because obviously I think you didn't know that I was getting
No,
into, like,
all I
of this.
remember is suddenly like, oh, Jay is like he's an influencer. I was like, what? And then I saw on your Instagram you had like all these followers, and I was like, whoa, like when? How? What's happened?
Yeah, to be honest, it's a span of like 4 years, as though like, but it's so much as kind of like I was said after uni, like, but during uni days I was like in the same scene basically. I was studying, but I was like actually getting in the industry. So but then obviously after uni finished, I was like, I need a job. Or like at that time as well, people obviously viewed like, you know, it's not like a serious kind of, you know, career, like photography, creative, like, you know, and journalism was like already like dying, or let's say people were like, okay. So after that, did normal jobs, and then after COVID, I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna do what I've always wanted to do, and then I went back into like what I knew, like just tap into my network before. So photography, I started doing photography, and then I mean, yeah. So it's kind of like a long journey, not a long journey, but it's like quite a lot of
It's been,
steps
like,
to where I'm
steps,
now.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
But within quite a quick time, 4 or 5 years. But then I think it's because I had obviously a bit of like experience before when I was at uni, as in like I was already like knowing a few, like I was in the
You're
scene.
building your
Yeah,
network
you knew-
pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah, I started building my network because I was like, I didn't rely on uni as well to like make me, you know, I realized like uni doesn't, because when I went to uni, I thought, oh, they would bring me network contacts or they would bring me to that place where I want to be in
Yeah.
the industry. But
It's not in the.
It's
Just
just
a
teach
waste
you this
of
and then bye bye.
Yeah.
On your own.
literally, Yeah.
yeah, they just, I mean, they were like, the only thing I remember learning is like how to exhibit. Like, I mean, one thing I would be like, oh, I came out of uni, so I knew how to exhibit work. Like, but that's
Yeah.
about it. Like,
Right.
being in the fashion, the creative industry, and knowing even how to manage that, knowing how to deal with contracts. Did they? I don't know. Uni
No,
don't
they
tell
don't.
that.
So interesting.
Yeah.
As a creative as well, it's like,
They don't
how do
teach
we
you
come
I
up
wonder
with?
why they don't.
They don't teach you the
Crazy.
real fundamental
Because,
things
like,
you need.
Yeah.
It's like the same way that people say in schools they don't teach you anything about taxes or mortgages.
Yeah.
I feel like uni courses should teach you like the fundamentals rather than all this
100%.
Apparently,
Other
it's
stuff.
because like people say it's because like if they taught everyone that, then everyone would become like millionaires.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah.
it's
it would be
gatekeeping
really
pretty
bad.
much.
Yeah.
Gatekeeping,
And
basically.
like, what's the word? Making the society like less. I mean, keeping us like, you know, the intelligence
Small.
level. or
Control.
Keeping us
small. Yeah,
small.
control. Yeah, I think
Pretty
that.
much.
Because it's crazy. Like, it's like a daily thing. As an
Yeah.
adult, like taxes and all that, it's like we actually
100%.
Yeah.
everyone has to do it. Or
And I
everyone-
think in the creative industry is like just being there. You're thrown into the industry when you have the opportunity. That's when you start learning. So I think that's why I appreciate like people like Sydney, who we interviewed the last episode, who are starting a network of opportunities to teach the youngers. You know,
Yeah, because it's amazing you say that, because Sydney's Make the Jump thing
Mm.
is about teaching you about contracts
Yeah.
and
All of
everything
that.
you just
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's
That's
crazy.
incredible.
Full circle.
Jeez. So like becoming an influencer and getting, would you call yourself an influencer, by the way?
No, I don't.
Oh, sorry.
You don't like titles.
Well, no.
Yeah, I don't like
yeah,
it.
no.
That's why I either call
Content
myself,
creator.
yeah, content
Okay.
creator.
So becoming that, how did you know? Like how did you even start off? How did you start getting loads of followers?
So imagine, okay, so in COVID, obviously, the thing is, I can't lie. This thing I started with was like I just wanted free clothes. That was it. The first thing that
Yeah,
made
no,
me
fair.
get into
Fair
it.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair
Like,
for admitting
I would
that.
do the
because-
same.
No, that
yeah.
was the start of it. I was like, I saw like, okay, people just get free clothes. But it's so funny because even 5 years ago, being an influencer or being someone known in Instagram is a bit different to now.
Yeah.
It was more of like let me not even name brands, but you know, like those it's like, I'm trying to remember, but you know, like back then the influencer wasn't how it is now.
Yeah.
Do you
It
guys
wasn't taken as
remember, like,
seriously, kind of thing.
or like what kind of people on Instagram would
Yeah.
you see advertise
Oh,
stuff
okay.
Yeah.
No, I
5
get
years
you.
ago,
Yeah,
6
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago? It's like them cringy, like, you know, like, people would advertise like protein shake. But those type of, they were
Yeah.
influencers like back then.
Yeah.
Like not
Don't
natural.
you remember that?
kind
Yeah,
of,
now it's like
It was
obviously
just
this is
changed.
my
yeah.
I feel
juice
like
for today.
Yeah.
or something.
so. I grew up in like YouTube influencer era,
Oh,
where people are
best.
just
I
like
loved
personality, right? Personality, and then that era of Instagram, where, like you said, it's just in your face. This is now. I think everything's turning into authenticity.
Yeah.
So what you sell is who you are
Yeah.
as your authentic self,
Yeah.
and whether people like it or not, people just that's your audience.
Yeah. You actually
Once you
get
find your
called out
community.
if you're not authentic.
Exactly. Which I think is going in the right direction. Like
Yeah,
you said,
it's
it's cringy
definitely-
to
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
a product that I actually don't support, but hey, I get paid for it and it's free.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know.
Back then. So yeah, like I think started from there, literally like, oh, I want to get free clothes, and then like I think after COVID, I just want to be. I think it was like that, and also like my motivation to be consistent. I think something was like, okay, if I post regularly, and I remember when I first started, I posted every week for 2 years, like,
Every
and
week.
that's how I
Wow.
Just
Oh,
once a
that's
week.
really consistent.
like 3
What did
minimum.
you post?
3 a week.
It was like just post.
And-
Obviously now like Instagram does obviously all sorts of type, right? It's stories, reels, and all that. But remember,
Right.
there wasn't really reels back
Oh,
then.
it was just
Yeah, reels
basically
weren't a thing.
yeah.
It was
post,
just posts, yeah, like posts. So I remember without fail, like 2 years I think it was basically 3, at least minimum 3, maybe 2. But I knew I for 2 years I was like, I posted every
Consistent.
week.
That's really
Wow.
good because that's a
And what-
long time to be consistent.
Yeah,
Like, that's really
2
good.
years.
Yeah, and then I realized, oh yeah, okay, now like it has to, like the checkpoint for me to oh sorry, my
Alright.
throat. Yeah, it was like obviously then I realized like there's now a next goal or a next, I need to like, there's something next. But I think after that obviously paused posting, and then I think 1 year I didn't really post a lot, which has affected to me now as well.
Oh,
Yeah, I
how?
know.
You think you should have
Interestingly,
like kept on with the
I think
trajectory?
so. You know, algorithm, obviously Instagram, right? Because of what I've fed it, right?
Yeah.
I've taught it maybe like, I don't know, like that's the thing about your algorithm. Like you actually feed it, and that's what you'll get from it.
Mm.
Right.
But obviously a certain span of time, and depending on what's going on, like in the, I don't know, like the digital aspect in Instagram, I don't know, like fully that well. But I mean, like all I know is like, yeah, 2 years constantly posting, cool, growing, and then like obviously I didn't have to post as much. I was getting deals. I was getting like things that I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't need to post as much. Or I was, and then in the 1 year I was like figuring out, okay, what's my like direction, and then like, then obviously I was actually working, like trying to have like, I've been freelance for like 4 or 5 years, so obviously as a freelance you still want to pay your bills. I mean, you still want to. I mean, you have to pay your
You have
bills.
to,
So,
Yeah.
like, so I was working, so content wasn't actually a full time, really.
It wasn't like your priority.
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
like, mate, I need to
Makes money.
make money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, content was there, but it wasn't really. And yeah, every year was like I was different roles, I'm in different kind of positions. And then yeah, in terms of like how it's affected my Instagram. So 1 year, I think it was last year, I didn't really post much. Well, when I say post much, obviously people are
Not
like,
as much as the same amount.
yeah, like
Yeah.
imagine posting 3 for 2 years, and then I think I've slowed down, and then for 1 year I was probably post like 8, maybe 20 things in a year, in the whole
Oh.
year.
Wow.
So I think it's definitely messed up my.
And was that because you didn't really need to? Because people were reaching out to you anyway, and
I think it was a mixture of like that, trying to figure out like what's like my
what
next
you wanted to do.
direction, because now I was in the level of like I'm working as a professional, but then influencing content was like, like you have a job, or you're in a
It's
work
like
in a
your side
profession.
hustle.
It's more like you didn't
Comes hand in
wanna.
hand.
Yeah, it's hard to like post as an influencer or content when you're also being seen as a professional thing. So
Yeah.
like you have
Oh,
like
okay.
clients, or you have like, let's say, people that you work with. You don't want to always be like
On your phone,
yeah,
like,
posting. You're
Right.
always
get
like,
you.
as a content creator, yeah, like obviously those that are doing well now is very much like also active, so active, like they're speaking to you on the camera, right? So that's why I was like, oh, I don't know if like, because there's a sense of me that I'm also trying to be like, like you'll know me for my work and you'll know me for my thing. So it was like
Yeah.
very like hard to.
And I guess like the clients you might have been dealing with as well, they might have wanted that bit of privacy too. So you didn't want
Exactly.
to just be like holding
Right.
out your phone all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
time.
yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense.
So is it important for you then to hold back on that kind of privacy, especially having your job that's also public?
Yeah, yeah. Even right now, I'm still, still
Kinda working.
navigating that next stage. But I feel like it's in it's in a good space. But last year was like, I couldn't figure out, like I couldn't like, and I was just like busy with actual work.
Yeah. And also bear in mind this time as well, 4 years, the change of algorithms, how
Yep.
marketing works, you're kind of sailing through that as well,
Yeah.
as keeping your personal self away from your work.
Yeah.
I can only just imagine.
It's like building your personal branding, figuring that out whilst building it. Two, like, obviously I've got some jobs coming in, so I'm doing that. 3, like, creatively, it's like, how do I, how am I building my profile also? Like, how am I building? And then 4th,
Yeah.
it's like, just like making sure you're not posting anything that's like gonna make it look, because now it's like a different eyes on, like different set of eyes now.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially when I work in like, I do work with high profile people and
Right.
clients as well. So it's kind of like you know,
Like
it's just
who?
so hard to like.
Can you name drop?
Can you name drop anyone? Don't worry if not.
I mean, okay, since we're obviously Filipino here, obviously I met Heart Evangelista.
Did you?
When did you meet her? Where and
Paris
how?
Fashion Week. Of course, you'll find her there.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually, I saw a
Oh my
photo,
god,
tell a
unreal!
lie.
I didn't see.
Yeah, and I went back home, and obviously my family and everyone's like, oh, and then I see her in my SIM card. I mean, well, I got a Filipino SIM card. I was like, oh, she's in every like
Everywhere.
everywhere. But
everywhere.
She's like
Yeah.
amazing though. I actually really like her because I met her, and obviously got to experience her in person. But I sat next to her at a show, fashion show.
No, that's
Wow.
crazy.
That's how we met. And I was like, at first I was like, because I think I feel like I recognized her face back then, but you know, I'm like, oh, like obviously that was me, I was young, I can't really. Anyways, we met, and she gave me like, she has these candies in a bag or some like sort of.
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of so Filipino, I think.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
having
yeah.
candy in your bag. And she's like, do you want some? Not even chewing gum, it's candy. So shout out to obviously
Miss
Miss
Hart.
Hart. Miss Hart.
Miss Hart, we love you.
Please
Um,
come.
shout out. Yeah, I told her to come to London. I don't think has she been? I don't think she's been yet, but I feel like she said she
Yeah, 'cause
has.
she lived in
Maybe
Paris.
we could
innit?
catch her in like London. When's London Fashion Week? I feel like
It's-
she'd come
Has
for
it
that.
gone?
Yeah, London Fashion Week is dying. So.
Oh,
Is it?
Paris is still
for-
huge.
Yeah,
right?
Paris is the best place. Yeah.
I feel like going off what you were previously saying about how you didn't post that much, I feel like from you doing that in the past kind of maybe year or two, you've become very kind of mysterious, and no one really knows what's going on.
Yeah. What's
And do
going
you
on?
think that's like something you need to excel in the line of work you're doing as well? That discretion and
Yeah,
Mystery.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah, because like I said, here's me like thinking, okay, what am I not to pose? What should I like? It's very
Yeah.
like, and I think I've chosen the what's the word? It's like I've put myself in this position anyways because I've gone through. Rather than just being a content creator, like I'm actually working in the field. Basically, I'm in front and behind the camera as well, and then that can be conflict with certain like things. I talent managed as well for 1 year, like a few years ago. Yeah, and then that was amazing. I just ended up being in there. I feel like it just ended up being because it was like the talents I managed was also guys. Well, it was mainly like male creators in, but they were like my friends. So it was kind of funny, like,
Right.
or
Yeah.
people I knew
Being
in the scenes,
professional
and then they recommended me because his agent from abroad is had this agency. He was like, "Oh, I need a UK person," and then the guys that I was managing, they recommended me, and I was like, "Well, I'm also a creator myself," but I was like, I guess I was people was able to see me do that, even though I was also like, so I was put in that box. And then obviously, yeah, I just said no. I'll focus on me as well. So
What's like what's your main social media that you use? Is it still Instagram or is
yes,
it TikTok?
Instagram.
How have you found? Because obviously you started on Instagram and then TikTok started getting bigger.
Yeah,
What do you think about TikTok?
I think TikTok. It depends on the generation as well, and I think it depends on like if you're a like brand like product or designer a clothing brand or some sort of you need TikTok. And especially if you're hitting the younger market, the younger generation. But TikTok is amazing as well. It's like the new Google for us, I think.
Yeah,
people
so
use it
true.
Like
I use
instead
it
of
for everything.
Like where to eat or where like
Yeah.
TikTok. But in my platform, yeah, Instagram has been. I'm learning TikTok, to be honest. I'm still learning TikTok.
yeah.
We all
So-
lost.
Yeah, true.
It's a
like-
hard algorithm to
I
understand.
feel like it's because we're aging. I feel like if we were still young, it would be so easy to pick up.
Yeah, exactly. Would you say like becoming a brand is important to be, I guess, a content creator on Instagram?
I feel like you are the brand.
You are the brand.
Yeah.
You are
Did
the
you
brand.
think the 4 years? Did you have a team help you build that brand, or was that more subconsciously or consciously you had to do yourself?
I think it's very much myself, but definitely along the way, like the people that I met, people around me, I've learning things from like other people. But I had to do my own but also in social media or in like I think as a content creator, or even just if you're in the field of social media and you use it as a tool for your business, you need to know what's going on. Like social media changes all the time, as well as
Yeah.
fashion. Fashion, like trends and things changes all the time. So like, yeah, like everyone's doing like for example skincare. Like you see everyone and guys now like at least showing it doing
Yeah.
skincare.
Yeah.
I got deals of skincare last year, and I was like, I could also tell how the market is moving a bit.
Yeah.
If you're in the right kind of scenes and places. So yeah, but independently, I've just kind of been building it myself really, and just figuring out. But I feel like it's been the long way because I've not seen anyone, no one ahead of me, family, friends, no one's done what I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I had to
Yeah.
learn.
You have to
the-
figure it out
Yeah.
yourself.
I had to learn like I had to learn it myself.
Everything.
How do you cope with like, because it requires a lot of networking, right? What you do.
Yeah.
How do you cope with that? Like,
Yeah,
Social
your
battery.
social
Battery,
battery.
yeah.
Are you extroverted by
Everyone
nature?
says this all the time. Everyone says this all the time. But you know, my concept of introvert, extrovert, I don't know if you heard it, but introvert and extrovert, I don't see it as like a personality thing. It's like, it's how you...
Get your energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how
I
I
agree.
see it. I think we had a chat about this.
I think we
so-
did.
We did.
At that bubble tea
Bubble tea
place,
place.
yeah.
It was like, so that's how I see, like, I'm actually, how I recuperate my energy or even recharge is like just being by myself and having my time. So when I'm in these places, it's definitely for like a bit of work for me. That's me exerting my energy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, exerting my energy. So like, how do I cope? People are like, yeah, people are always like, but the thing is, the first 2 years, obviously after COVID, everyone was outside.
That's
though.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
you
was
just wanted to be
outside.
Everyone's
out.
just like, you
Yeah.
know what?
Yeah.
Fuck it. Life is short.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do
Party,
everything.
Yeah.
That
Party.
Yeah. That was
Actually, yeah,
That was
that
bad,
was
you know, not even me. just,
horrible
everyone.
for us. Oh god. Anyways.
Yeah,
But I do
so
remember, like, you were out a lot, right?
yeah, everyone's like, you're out a lot.
I was like, how? How are you doing this?
Also, sorry to interrupt. Do you think so? I found that London culture as well. The more you're out, the more you build a network. Like I met a lot of people through whatever network I am from being out and just being present. But that also takes a lot of social. Like I need, like you said, time to myself to just ground myself. But yeah,
Yeah.
so go on.
Yeah, so how do I figure? I think because it became like work. I see it as like it was work. So actually, when I turned up, it's work. It's not
Okay.
even like
Right.
So you're
social.
clocking in for your shift.
Wow, fair enough.
That's a good way to think
It
about
is,
it.
yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah, that's
so
a good
it
way to
kind
think about
of so
it.
in parts of me, but also I think I don't know, you know, like I think it was like I just go by like, for example, I know, like I remember like I think it still happens a bit, but not as much as before, where like I have like 5 events one evening, like 5
my
events, and
gosh.
it's like, okay, how do you go to each one?
Gosh.
Yeah.
Let's say if I
I
also
wouldn't.
get invited to one. Yeah, I know.
Just pick
like,
your favorite.
yeah, but that's the
But
thing.
that's work.
It's a
though.
bit
Yeah,
different.
but yeah, I
'cause
guess
it's
for
like,
you should go to all
but,
of them.
But you do end up saying, okay, what am I gonna?
You have
Who's
to
my favorite, or
prioritise.
like
yeah.
who do I not know? And that's the thing. I think in my, well, what no one sees is like the decisions I have to think and make, which I'm hoping for the best outcome. Like even just for that 5 evening of being outside, it's actually like, okay, who do I need? Where do I need to be? What brand is this? Like what PR do I, have not met yet or seen?
Okay.
And what kind of event is this? Is this worth going as well? Like my time and energy. So it's like 10 things like in my head, or when you think about it.
You have to think of it like strategically.
Yeah, that's it, strategically.
Yeah.
So obviously I've done, like I mentioned, like no one's done it, no one's taught me. I just had to like figure out along the way. One night, cool, I'll try all of this, and then boom, okay, next time I'm not gonna give as much time to this place or that event or that brand.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah, and then in terms of social, everyone, yeah, this is the main thing, social, like everyone's, how do you do it? I think it's just knowing the amount you speak in these settings. Because people, for example, I speak to someone, or like just, I also go by instinct. I think I honestly genuinely naturally feel like who is my vibe, or what person will come up to me a week, or like what person I end up speaking to, even if I just shifted like literally this way or that way. And then like, yeah, it's just kind of like, I just go by instinct at one point.
Must be kind of daunting sometimes, having to go in and be like, oh, I don't know anyone here. Like,
Yeah.
do you go on your own?
No, I've been to definitely, even
Yeah.
up to now, like, or usually I ask, or you can bring plus, but sometimes also it's like, it's that environment. It's actually kind of workish, so you don't, or even if you go, everyone's like, in the creative fashion scenes though, people are like cool. So you meet like, as I don't know, you just meet, make friends. So you make friends.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's not, it's cool. But daunting wise, I think because I think this is what it is like, I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
or what I'm going there.
Yeah.
I think when you have a sense of like aim or purpose in outside of just that event, it's like kind of like, what's my goal, like in what I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
As a content creator, as like a stylist, as like someone that's trying to be a creative. So I feel like because I was ready, because I took that like in before entering these spaces, I think that's what helped me like kind of navigate a bit better. Yeah.
Do you feel like with the job that you do, there is a certain pressure that you have to hold? Like for me, for example, as a job, like I was saying on the other episode that I have to put on a mask to build this. And then it becomes like a heavy pressure. Do you feel like with showing yourself in these spaces, you have to build some sort of armor or mask that you have to kind of put down when you're by yourself?
I know what you mean. I think there's always this sense of like, you have to put extra confidence than maybe like every day
Okay.
when you're in this. Like, I have to be like, so I think
Switched on all the
yeah,
time.
you have to be switched on. You have to remember, like in this space. I think one thing as well, I would say, like, I think when you go in these spaces and you're not like confident who you are, or you don't know who you are, that kind of like, you go to this place and it's fun, it's amazing. You go back home and you start thinking like, you confuse your own self of like your just your goals, or like what, like, oh,
like you're
I
not
thought
good
I
enough
liked
kind
this.
of thing. Or
Yeah, like we have negative. Obviously, always like we always, we are sometimes always our own enemies of our own
in the
self.
saboteur.
Innit?
Yeah, for sure.
So like you go to these places, and because there's so many personalities, like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Especially in
must
like
You question yourself when you're home. You're like, oh, why am I
Yeah.
there?
yeah, and then obviously you start seeing maybe things of people, amazing people. You're like, oh my god, and you hear people talk about what they do and stuff like that. So I feel like you start. That's what I mean by you're like, oh, like you feel like, what am I doing? Like, oh, have I not done this enough? Or like blah blah blah. But then at the end of the day, when you go there and you don't care, I feel like the armor like that, you kind of just have to believe in yourself, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or like recognize that you're you, and that's what makes like you special, or that's what makes you enter a place and be like, no one has this experience before that I've had. I could share that. Cool, you may be like in a higher position of this type of work or whatever, but cool, that's you, and then there's me. So I think I had to learn to be like, like, no, regardless, like no one's like me. So
Wow.
I had to
That's
like,
amazing.
Yeah.
I had
You
to
need
like,
that. That's amazing.
You'll always
Yeah.
be able to. You'll always bring something to the table.
Yeah.
exactly, like no
And
matter.
you're there for a reason.
Yeah.
You're obviously amazing at what you do.
Do you? How do you feel like there is a good no, let me rephrase that. Do you feel like there's enough Filipino representation in the content creation space?
I see it, yes.
Okay.
Now, but it's even still minuscule, I think, even if obviously in London, like the city,
comparison.
comparison. So like I know a lot of creators in like, I think, just all around worldwide. I'm even starting to notice Filipino creators come in my feed. That's like, in the Instagram feed from the Philippines, but like in London is like, I think I was pretty much, I don't know, because there's like different type of creators like
Yeah.
who do like actual cinematography type of work that have built their followers from not being in events.
Yeah.
There's like those type of Filipino creators I've seen recently, but
Like
I feel like
Paolo.
I think I think that's him, right? So him or someone else, but like I definitely felt I was definitely in the scenes. I was like the only face as a content creator, or as like, I don't know, any type of like, I don't know,
Like fashion, for
Networking
example.
or-
fashion,
Yeah.
yeah.
Did it affect you negatively or positively or any way, like being Filipino and trying to go in this industry and career?
No, not at all.
No?
I think it's because I didn't even. So only until like last year. Well, I think when I first started, obviously London, I grew up just being like with so many different like ethnicities, nationalities. So
Yeah.
it didn't really like make me think any sort of way. Like
Uh-huh.
I think obviously later on I realized, oh, there's not much Filipinos, which I allowed that to be an opportunity for me. That I was like, okay, okay, cool. If I'm here, then that's amazing. Like I'm the first Filipino in this space.
That's a great mindset.
That's like let me. But I knew I had to build myself up before being able to even say, oh yeah, like I'm Filipino, like I'm doing it for Filipino. But I feel like,
Do
you know,
people
I
ask
don't wanna
you
do that.
Do you get asked that a lot? Like,
What?
if you're Filipino or
you're from.
where you're from?
Yeah. I think everyone does ask where I'm from. Obviously, I get different says. People that know Filipinos then say, "Oh yeah, you're Filipino." So I get asked.
What other races or nationalities do you think people?
I can't even
Yes.
remember now. Mexican,
Oh,
like
yeah.
Latino. I get said. Yeah.
Mm.
What else is there? I'm trying to find the weirdest one. That's it. But yeah, more like yeah,
Like
Latin,
Latino.
Colombian, but yeah, more
Oh,
on that
okay.
side. Yeah.
So going on to like shit. Where was I going? With your social media presence and everything, what was like, when did you kind of know that like you're actually, this is your career now, like when you could drop work and like focus, like just do
Make a
this,
full-time
just
job.
do what you were doing and get into your styling and everything, like
Yeah.
what
so,
made that happen?
So I think I was mentioning how I worked at ASOS, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then obviously I said the thing is it wasn't even planned. I think because of COVID, I got made redundant from ASOS actually. So they made the whole customer service department. Oh, this is funny. They made the whole customer service department like redundant, like everyone.
Really?
So
Wow.
they outsourced they cleared it off head office and then they outsourced it to they just outsourced it. But when I found out where it was basically they outsourced it in the Philippines.
Oh
I
my
knew it.
gosh.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
they outsourced
Deliveroo, it's cheaper, isn't it?
So I was like, as a business, I was like, okay, but at the same time, I was like, oh, when I found out it was Philippine people, I was like, okay, it's alright, let them have the job.
Fair enough.
I said,
Yeah.
okay,
Fine
it's
with
fine. I'm
me.
not gonna get mad. So they outsourced it, and then I said, when I found out, I said, cool. So I kind of just fell into, obviously, COVID. Everyone's in that. Like, of course, we were in lockdowns and stuff. I was like, bro, no one is safe. Like, even no matter what point of your career is, like, yeah, directors in my company, the ASOS, they just like got like let go.
Wow.
And I was thinking, at this point, I better do what I want to do or want
Yeah.
to try and do. And I feel like I've had that I've always have that entrepreneur thing anyways. So I was like, I'm going to, just go into the creative and commit to it. I literally said to myself, oh, I'm going to commit to this now for life.
Wow.
And then basically I'm riding the journey.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Literally.
Feel free not to answer this if you don't want to, or if it makes you uncomfortable. Do
Mm.
you get paid for social media? And if so, how much roughly are brand deals? You don't have to answer if
No,
it
I-
doesn't
I
make
f-
you comfortable.
I feel like, so I get paid for social media, or else I
Okay.
wouldn't be doing.
Yeah,
Continue doing this, right?
But is it like, for example, is it like per post, or is it only if like a company gives you something to like
Right.
wear and then they'll pay for the post? Like, how does it actually work?
How does it work? Okay, so so it can be different ways. So pay for post, pay to attend events, pay
Oh.
to yes.
That's why you
I
want to
didn't
go to
know
all
that.
5 events.
Yeah, that's why you're going to.
Yeah.
Not all of them
I've seen
pay.
it in a few events, and I didn't realize they were paid.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know that. That's a way that content
Yeah.
creators
I
make
love that
money.
for you,
I didn't
though.
know that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
you get
like-
paid to show up.
You know.
Yeah. But obviously, like there is like different tiers and levels of that as well.
Okay.
But yeah, getting paid. Obviously, post like reels, Instagram, stories. What else? You can you can get paid. I can get paid by creating content, but you don't have to post it in your platform. So you can do
Oh, so they
UGC
post for
content
them.
So the brand
for
will
the
post
brands.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Oh. And that's more, I'm guessing.
It depends. I think it depends on the brand. And in
Ah.
terms of the fees, funny enough, in this, I was speaking with, like, I think in this position now, I can, like, because I've from the start, I've obviously like known how I've had deals. I've spoken to people what kind of fees they've had like like 4 years ago. Obviously, I was in a different stage as well. That time, I think I was like when I started getting some paid stuff, I was at like 5-6K following, which is like obviously still it was kind of small. But even now that I know people you get five if you're only in 5-6K, but if you have the right audience, if the right branding and the right personality or the right look, you get paid jobs. I like a 1K. Like one person I know
Really?
did
1K to turn up.
well, one girl I know, she like I just met recently. She's on 5-6K, and she literally was just. I think she's new as well to
Do you
it.
mean followers?
Followers? Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, 5
Yeah.
following, and then she got paid for, like a gym brand kind of event, and it was like 1K.
1,000.
The
Wow.
dream.
But then that's the thing though. The thing is when you're even longer in this game, you have a different perception with that fee. Like
Okay.
yeah, got paid like 1K, but this person did like different stories, and so but then
A lot went
again
into it to get for that payment. Is that what you mean?
yeah, so to attend but also to post stuff,
Okay.
stories and actual probably posts. But then there's also the organic posting, because you like even me sometimes if I enjoyed the event or enjoyed the product or the brand so much, obviously there's that
Just
paid
post
thing.
it.
I could also just post extra, but
Yeah.
then there's a different side, because in contractually I should only be doing that. So for my
Right.
brand or for myself, I'm like, actually, even though I'd want to, I should just stick to that,
Yeah.
because they should pay for more of that.
Yeah.
Right.
As
Got
well.
Yeah, you're giving them free marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
basically.
True.
So there's like different stages. You're like, okay, I want to do. Actually, no. Like, let me not do that. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of
Oh, that's really interesting.
yeah.
So interesting.
Few
What's your favorite
Insights.
brand that you worked with?
I worked with. Ooh, good question. What's the favorite brand I work with? That's quite.
There's so many.
Or like, was there
Yeah, there's
one
actually
that
so
was
many.
like you got the message or they contacted you and you
aligned,
looked at it and you were
yeah.
like, oh my god, like
Oh, I currently I'm a Pepsi ambassador, by the way.
Wow.
If you know.
Oh my God, that's
a
so
huge
cool.
deal.
Yes, yeah.
congrats.
Back in the
Shout
day
out.
was Britney Spears.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That is really cool.
Yeah, Pepsi. Yeah, that came.
Wow.
So I would say like, yeah, it's been really cool to be working with Pepsi or do stuff for Pepsi with
Yeah.
Pepsi.
Was you
and
super
I love
excited when
that.
they reached out to you about that?
I think yes, because it was actually my first long-term contract as well. This was only
Oh.
done last year, so that was even like yeah, my 3rd or 4th year, or let's say around that time of doing this as a content creator. Or I've did, yeah, it's my first like long-term contract. So
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Congratulations.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so
congrats.
good.
so I think I have loads of Pepsis if you want some.
Yes, please.
We should
Is
have
it one of
some
those-
on the table.
Is it one of those
Yeah, I
contracts
should've.
that you can't be seen with Coca-Cola?
yeah, it's in my contract.
Is it? Like you can't?
Yeah, of
I
course.
love
It's
that.
like I actually
Or like,
can't.
what about like Fanta?
Fanta, no.
No, 'cause
So
that's
no
under
other
No
soft
other
drinks.
soft drink.
Pepsi.
Oh my gosh,
or
so
in
you
the
have to
same
be
company.
so careful because
Yeah.
you're contractually liable.
Yeah, it's
Even in your
actually-
stories.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
yeah, I can't.
Shoot.
Yeah,
That's
It's
so
that serious.
interesting.
Wow.
That's so interesting.
Wow.
yeah.
So how did you like start getting invited to Passion
Passion
Fashion.
for
Paris
fashion.
Fashion Week?
Okay, yeah. So this part, okay, like obviously we talked about I guess a lot of my content stuff, but yeah, we can move in the actual fashion scenes. So what did I do? Yeah, as a photographer, so I start obviously as a photographer, as a creative, and it's funny because I think I was building 2 different things at the same time, like content and that part, and like my style and like more of me, and then there's the professional part. I'm like, okay, photography. I work with different modeling agencies, models. Like I was doing that, and then like styling. Did my own shoots, styled my own stuff. Because that's the thing. I was like, how do I actually do this? Like I was like, I asked to assist a few stylists, but for some reason never got around to assisting. Because that should be the first thing, right? Yeah, any person you assist someone that's already doing it. But I never even got the chance to. I don't know what happened, but I just did my own things. And then for Fashion Week, because I was years ago, obviously I was in the industry before, I worked for a magazine before, 1883 magazine. So they're kind of top magazines, but I was working with them before, so I was in the fashion scenes a bit there. So I kind of like knew the vibe. What did I do? I think at first, I think it was a roll off getting invited to events, and then I think some was in during Fashion Week, but for Paris, I went out myself. Like I was like,
Wow.
yeah. Sometimes for me, I
okay.
believe in like
Put yourself out.
putting
Making
yourself
your
in
own
a place.
destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking that
Wow.
opportunity,
Yeah,
isn't it?
because
Fair
if
play.
like I said, no one done this in either my family or my circle or friends. No one's
Yeah.
been in the places I've been. How did I do it? I just said, okay, let me just go to where it's at and then figure out like things.
So cool.
Wow.
And then you ended up sitting next to Heart Evangelista.
Isn't
at a fashion
it?
Yeah,
show.
2-3 years later, boom, yeah, that happened.
That's
so,
great.
yeah,
So,
that
like,
was a moment. Yeah,
How
you
did
get-
that happen?
Heart
Yeah.
Evangelista.
Yeah.
I think I ended up just sitting next to her at the show, at a fashion
It was not
show.
planned. It was
No,
just,
no. I just
As in, were you assigned to sit there, or you sat there?
no. So with fashion, basically in Fashion Week, you do have names and you are assigned
Okay.
to seats.
Okay.
But sometimes everyone just like sits like your seat can be budged up a little bit further
Oh.
Okay.
because someone's gonna sit here. But when you're with celebrities or celebrities are sitting, that it's hard to like. Sometimes you just can't be like, oh, let me sit there, whatever. So I end up just
Yeah.
sitting there because the show was about to like start anyways.
Fair.
So I was probably like seats further down or something, and then. But
Oh,
anyways, I
that's
was
just
like,
grab
"There's a
your spot.
space."
Yeah.
Oh, there was
Let
a
me
Let me
space.
sit here.
And
Yeah.
sometimes you need to find a space, or
Yeah.
else
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Otherwise
you just get pushed
Oh.
then to the back. So yeah, but it was
Fair
literally
enough.
by
Oh,
instinct again. I
cool.
feel like
That's so good.
or my intuition, just like I was walking, I knew that was like the seat, and then there was the only space there, and then Heart like was she's
Destiny.
tiny, not tiny, but she's. So there was space. I said, "Yep, let me sit
Petite.
there."
That's where I am.
Jeez.
Oh, that's so cool.
Swooped
I
in
love
there,
that
boy.
that you just like take opportunities
You're
and
a
you just grab
go-getter.
it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, because I
Yeah.
feel like the success is there if you just go for it and just take the opportunity. Then no more delays.
Yeah.
Were you?
Oh, sorry. go on.
Sorry. Were you styled for Fashion Week, or do you style yourself?
I style myself.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
And I
You are
style
all around.
yeah. I mean, I guess when you attend stuff though, you just you get invited for you, like your style and who
Yeah,
you
that's
are.
true.
Do you buy the clothes or how does it
So-
work?
So as the years went by, obviously, like I said, my first thing was like, oh, I'll get free clothes. So most of the time, most of my clothes are gifted, really.
Oh,
yeah, my
Lovely.
just
style.
waiting to be worn,
Santa
basically.
on.
Yeah.
No, but for Fashion Week it's different though. Fashion Week is obviously you need
Oh, like the.
Like,
Do you need to
the
wear
looks.
designer clothes for Fashion Week?
no, not design. You don't have to design, but
just has to be
your
more-
game has to be like
Yeah,
a bit.
okay.
You know, like the things I get gifted is not really always like stuff that can be fashion, unless
Okay.
obviously you know, as a person that knows how to style things, I can be like, okay, I'm gonna elevate this piece or this product with what if it just goes with the vibe I want, the outfit I want. But I also PRs also lend me or give me clothes basically.
Right, and it has to
Okay.
be that season, isn't it?
Yeah, most of the time there's that, or they don't care really, depending
Oh,
on like.
really?
Just it depends on the. I feel like I'm not in that level of like yet where like, for example, you know, I haven't been to a Chanel show, Dior or Louis
Right.
Vuitton yet. So, but when you get fully invited, you're dressed in. But then obviously that's
Oh, that makes
That
sense.
would
that's
be
like
so
10
dreamy.
top, but
No.
that's like top 10 celebrities
Yeah,
or top 10 buyers
Yeah.
of that designer brand.
and you're only wearing that piece yourself and no one else.
Oh,
kind
that
of
would
thing.
be so amazing.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a time where you were like next to Chris Brown or something?
Oh
I
yeah, I
heard
was
about
behind Chris Brown. Yeah.
Oh my
I even saw
god.
I saw him like, but you know, I've done like so I've done like, I've been working. I've done a lot of things with celebrities. Like I did a dinner with French Montana.
Wow.
A
Really?
Boogie with the Hoodie did collaboration. Yeah, so I hosted or was working with like those dinners that was done for celebrities or during that time.
And
yeah.
what's your part of that?
So it's either managing. So one of them was working with an alcohol brand. So I was like part of like just what's the word, like not facilitating, but they're like hosting.
Mm.
And then for the French Montana dinner, I was because that's during Fashion Week, but I was also facilitating like artists during that time. So I invited them down for the dinners
Oh, okay.
as well. So I was also
Cool.
I was doing two kind of type of work in that time, and yeah, was just hosting like the dinner and just maybe
Cool.
getting social content for the
One day.
Yeah.
thing. One day, I
One
mean,
day.
could be tomorrow. I'm gonna tell you that.
So do you think
Anyone
it's-
can do where anyone can be and do what I do. I
Okay,
can't
but
lie.
like, what is important then? Like, what I'm hearing is that it's important to have a network.
Yeah.
What do you
Oh,
think is
yeah.
like? What are the important structures to be able to do what you're doing? I guess.
Important structures? Ooh,
I guess network. Yes. you said.
support system.
Oh,
100%.
really?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
you
good.
need a good support system, and also just like really believing and confident about yourself. But also that obviously is like you have to always put in you. But like I mean, just knowing that you're. Sometimes you just gotta believe in you're not. You know that you're the shit. Like,
Yeah.
Believe in your
sometimes-
own sauce.
Yeah, like yeah, that's it. Believe in your
Absolutely.
own flavor.
It's hard
Yeah.
sometimes though, isn't it? You just need
Yeah.
daily affirmations for that
Yeah, that and support system.
and support system.
Yeah, but also it's just being a bit that I now I know in this stage in this level I think obviously being strategic is so key. Like I mean not strategic, like just knowing having a plan of like now I know like my kind of schedule every year, like just planning around so I can get more I can take chances of more opportunities. So yeah, that's
the
like
business side of
the
things.
next side of
basically.
like yeah.
Like
I feel like it's
organising your
always
time and-
yeah, like there's always like and you know the next stage and next level and but it's important to know like I think your yourself and your flavor. Yeah.
Oh,
Just to keep you
that.
grounded. Yeah, I love that.
I love that.
Where would you find these people, these networks?
Network. I guess depending on what scene or like what you
Let's say like fashion.
okay, fashion. Yeah, I mean fashion week is the easiest thing. You just ask people like okay, but people even just like I think you know what is you just ask around who you know works
Like who
or
you know.
who you know yeah that's this is my always advice to people or someone knows like oh how do you like how do you start how you get into it. Sometimes we forget who we're already connected with. Sometimes you
Yeah.
got to use your own resources. Oh, use your resources,
Yeah.
as in your resources, your connections. You've probably met so many people or someone that you'll remember. Like, maybe even if they're not the direct person, but you might know. You could just ask them, which they could lead you to the right person.
Right.
But I think the easiest. I think that's what is the easiest. It may not be find like the best contact or the best network yet, but you have to start with who you already know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And do you know why that I would say that because it's more of a warm contact, a warm person. You
Right.
trust
Yeah.
the person that you already know, connected with. So that helps you like, and I think I'm a believer of like, it's like who you're already in or around with is you're connected them for a reason. So it will end
They're
up
gonna
Yeah.
help
to the
you
right place and the right type of
uplift.
people,
Oh, I
the
like
right type of
that.
network. Because yeah, I think the right is like the best. Okay, not the right, but the best. You know when you're always like, because you can just be anywhere. You can find anyone at any network or any event or any like person to work with. But then it's finding the best people to be around with, the best person to work with, the best like network or the best moments in the best place. Because like you can be like, I can go to one event. It wasn't the best event. It was like the not great event. So it's just always finding the best for you and the best thing.
What would be your favourite event so far that you've experienced?
Oh, okay, so one of my favorite ones. This is the first like 2 years, and it's the most iconic event. I would still say the past few years in London, because London as well now it's like London doesn't do like massive iconic events. So it was a Montclair event years ago, and it was like held in West London. I forgot where it was, but it was like a massive, like they used the whole like exhibition space, and they had like Rick Owens show just down the road in the space. Alicia Keys performing.
Oh wow!
So it was like a free concert. Alicia Keys. There was like top celebrities there, and like it was like I would say it's the most craziest because it's public industry and celebrities in one place,
Wow.
and that's
Wow.
That's big
rare
as
and
well.
never happened before. Well, it's rare in that scale though.
Wow.
I
And
wanted
that's-
to ask the opposite. Obviously, don't name the brand, but I guess experience-wise, what would be the worst?
Unless you do want to
event?
name.
Yeah,
it.
unless
Unless
No,
you
there's-
want to name the brand.
No, there is loads of like,
Really?
dead events, yeah.
Experience-wise, I guess.
I think experience. Yeah, it's like I think when you turn up and when the person or the kind of PR or people that invited you don't even like, acknowledge you, or you go in and you
Oh.
don't know what's going on. I mean, that's 80% of events. I can't
Oh,
lie. You go in, you're like, you don't know
really?
what's going on. Who do you speak to?
Mm.
But I feel like just going in and like not having that, like you just go in and then you're just like, okay, you go out in 5 minutes because it's just like, you don't know why you're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're
No
not
one
even
like
knowledge,
your
tries
right.
and
purpose
guides
or-
you.
yeah.
Yeah, no one even like
Mm.
acknowledges like, okay, this is what's going on. So I feel like the best experience is when the actual people that host it or organize it are like there or present and like,
Yeah, for
you know.
sure.
Mm.
Aw.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
Are we doing fast
Okay.
Chika?
Yeah.
Or are we
Shall we?
wrapping up?
Let's do it.
Yeah, so we're going to do Fast Chika. I don't know if you know about Fast Chika, but it's a
I
quick
think I
fire
read so,
questions.
yeah,
We're going to
yeah.
send out questions and you have to answer them quickly.
Okay, so who's
Do you
going
wanna
first?
start?
Should I go
Yeah, you
first?
go
Okay,
first.
number 1. Describe your aesthetic in 3 words.
I think clean, minimal, flair.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like
I'd give you
that.
that.
I couldn't-
I would associate that with you actually.
Flair.
Yeah.
That's a good word
Yeah, that's a good
to
one.
work with. Tabo or tissue?
What? This is your
Tabo.
favourite question.
I think I'm going to ask this every
I
time.
think
Yeah.
tissue
Okay.
because I mean I don't know you don't.
We won't go into detail, but tissue.
Chicken Joy or Boss Man's Chicken Shop?
Chicken Joy.
Go to Filipino comfort food when hungover.
Jollibee.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fashion.
Beef steak.
Ooh.
Just to be
Oh,
exact.
but yeah,
Jollibee
with
beef
lots of
steak,
gravy.
hungover,
I used to
yeah.
eat.
We should go Jollibee after. Fashion inspo growing up.
Pharrell Williams.
I see
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Same.
Biggest fashion ick?
Ooh. Not knowing your silhouette.
Okay.
Proportions.
Mm.
Oh, I have so much I could ask you about that. Damn. Worst trend you ever followed?
Skinny jeans.
Dream collab, brand or person?
Okay. Okay, Bad Bunny would be amazing to style.
I see you actually.
And Bottega Veneta would be a great collab.
Love.
I think.
Ooh.
Filipino phrase you use the most?
What do I actually have?
Or maybe you don't.
Or noise.
What? Yeah, there was one. Wait, because I know it's fasting. Wait, can't I think of it? Do I have one? I don't know if I have one
Okay.
yet. I haven't one yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Ooh.
One Filipino trait you're most proud of?
I think the warmness. I think we Filipinos like give.
Yeah. Last DM that made you go, what? Like, wait, what?
Last year again. I'm coming in July. That's it.
Oh.
Who's
Everyone
coming in
keep
July?
I wonder who's coming in July.
Most extra thing you've ever worn?
Most extra thing. I feel like I have one a lot of extra things. Most extra things. I've done extra hair. Like I was in green. I had like bright green hair.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Do you remember that?
I do remember. I think
don't know if I remember.
think I
I
remember
don't
you having
remember
coloured
that.
hair.
You didn't.
If you had a styling wand, which celeb would you give a total makeover to?
If I had what? Sorry.
Styling wand.
Styling. Ooh. A makeover.
Like a
Like,
total
who do you think dresses
restyle.
like terribly?
Oh yeah. Who's that? Wait. Ah, there's loads. I can't lie. Why am I not thinking? Ah. Let me think.
3,
Somsy.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Stormzy.
We know this already, but Jollibee order go to
Beef
order.
steak with chicken joy.
Biggest creative red flag in a collab.
When you think you're better than the other person, or when you just think you're the better person than everyone else in the room.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank
It's gone so
you.
quick.
I
We
know.
don't
Thank you
know
for
already.
having me.
It
I'm
was
so
really
glad
nice
to
hearing.
be here and have done this
Yay.
in this part of my
you.
journey. And it's great because
Yay.
like Philippines, I feel like it's growing even like next year. Like I feel like I'm gonna go there and then see what's going on.
I hope
Please,
we're all
we
going.
hope this
Yeah.
is not your last as well.
Yeah.
No,
We need you back
for
here.
sure. Yeah,
I would,
like
I would
please.
absolutely
Need
love
styling
if,
tips.
yeah,
Yeah,
or
we
like,
need a styling app
no,
or something.
or like if you like
Yeah,
style
I'm
us.
down.
Can you
Yeah.
style us? I was literally thinking this on
I
the way. I
would
was like,
love
I need to be
to
styled
see
by
how
Jay.
you would
That would
style
actually be
us.
cool. Yeah, that would be interesting.
That would be so
And then
great.
we
That
come
would be
in
so
styled.
interesting.
So then
Yeah.
you talk through
Like
the outfit.
what you're wearing, what you came in, and then when I've seen
Yeah.
you, yeah.
So this is the before.
Yeah,
And then
this
after-
is the after. Yeah.
So before we end, can you tell us all how we can find you on
Oh, yeah,
social
sure.
media?
So my main platform was Instagram, but you can find me with the same at Jay Tagle and double Y, JAYYTAGLE,
Lovely.
and social media platforms.
Yay.
Oh,
Yay.
thanks,
Thank
Jay.
you
Thank
for
you,
shining.
guys.
coming on.
Chika,
Keep
Chika.
shining.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Yay.
much.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Jay.
much.
Thank
That was
you.
so
Thank you.
great. I can't wait to be styled.
That went
Yeah,
so
same,
quick.
innit? You have to put it on record so you
Yeah.
can't